Hey, what's up? I'm back again, making another video kind of soon after my last one because I have something different to talk about. And once again, I'm using the TV solely for its ability to illuminate my face. Okay, and what I'd like to talk about today is something, well, basically, I guess I could title this video Pyrophobia or something like that. And something has kind of happened. It kind of shook me up a little bit, okay? And it kind of made my problems seem very small in comparison to what I'd been thinking of them just 1 hour beforehand, okay? I was basically minding my own business. It's a good thing I tend not to sleep at night, so that when things like this happen, I can be awake to fully experience them. My dad was asleep, and I was actually in the middle of adding glitter. I don't know if you can see this. Adding glitter to this sun catcher because it already had the sun catcher paint, but I just wanted to kind of put some glitter to keep it from fading, to kind of secure the paint, so to speak. See how sparkly that is? And I was meticulously adding that glitter glue in each color when all of a sudden I hear this god-awful sound. Probably my least favorite sound in the world is the sound of a fire truck. And instead of going down the road, which I hear them all the time, it scared me because it sounded a little too close. And rather than, get faint and then go away, it was followed by yet another and another, until it got to the point where I just had to investigate. And when I did, this is what I saw. So basically, although it wasn't our unit, it was a little ways down. I had to kind of walk my legs off to get to it. It really shook me up because, as you can imagine, as a doll collector and a collector of many other things like this, which I have to limit my collections before I become a hoarder, so to speak, but as a collector of many beautiful, unique things, and someone who likes to make things with my hands, that really shook me up because it's a reminder of what can happen, especially in apartments where you're at the mercy of however many other people you live with, the people surrounding you. You are at the mercy of them not to burn your place down. And all it takes is just, and it doesn't even have to be anyone's fault. It could be an electrical issue, which I don't want to give too much detail because it was such a major news event that you could actually find my approximate location if I gave you too much info about it. But basically, at least a dozen apartment homes, so to speak, like units. Well, a unit is like a building, okay? And it can have 8 or 16 different homes within it, but at least a dozen apartments, probably more like 20 something, are no longer livable because of what happened Tuesday night, or no, Tuesday morning. It was Monday night on into Tuesday morning. Because of what happened on Tuesday, at least a dozen people are now displaced, okay? And I'm really having to fight hard the urge to cry. in this video because it really, I was heavy-hearted all day yesterday, and I wanted to make a video, but I was afraid that I would end up crying or something. But as you can imagine, one of my worst fears in life has always been fire, and that is one thing that separates me from an actual male, so to speak. They always seem to be fascinated with fire. They're pyromaniacs, whereas I'm a pyrophobe. I don't even like birthday candles because of the open flame. And I think those battery-operated tea lights are the best thing ever invented. Okay? But I've just felt heavy-hearted and sad. I mean, if the aftermath of that doesn't get you down, I don't know what would. Okay? But it's just a constant reminder of why we need to look for a house, an actual house. And of course, that's not to say it can happen in a house. Houses burn down. But at least you're not at the mercy of whatever happens in all those other apartments. And in this case, it's just, I think it was an electrical problem, but it started in the attic. And if you know anything about apartments, you know that the residents aren't supposed to have access to the attic. Okay? So it was probably some malfunction with the building. And that would be really sad, to have all these things from my dolls to my telescope to all my clothing that I take such good care of, All my life I've just taken care of my things to the best of my ability. And to lose them because of a problem with the maintenance of the building, that they were just unable to do anything about, that would just be horrible. And, they have a donation going on right now. I might try to see what I can donate to the people that lost everything. But, it just has me so heavy-hearted and sad, I mean, I could not believe all the people actually laughing out there, and telling jokes in both Spanish and English. I understand a little bit of Spanish, but, just being so lighthearted and jovial, and I just didn't understand it. How people could be that way about such a serious matter. It's just something that it reminds me of this thing that I fear so much, because it has so much power to destroy the body and the things that I love and care about. And it just makes all my other problems seem so pale and so small in comparison. All these things that I've made so many videos about in the past, on various topics. It just seems so unimportant, when I look at that apartment unit that burned down. Really, I mean, the top floor got the brunt of it, you know what I'm saying? The ground floor, I wouldn't say is livable, but if anything could be salvaged, it was on the ground floor, okay? And a lot of that has to do with the fact that heat rises. But they did what they could. They had to go in defensive mode. What that means is they just try to keep the fire from spreading to the surrounding areas. And I actually got that soot in my hair. It was like just raining, basically, with all the water they were pouring on it. And they actually had to replace, this is how bad it was. They had to replace the front doors on the surrounding apartments because of all that soot and black smoke. So it's pretty bad. And if I gave you too much information, you'd probably know approximately where I live, and that would not be a good thing. And it would defeat the purpose of me wearing sunglasses in every video. But anyway, I just wanted to post this video about the fire and how I've always been afraid of fire, never liked fire. And it just makes all those other problems, everything. The gender issues, it's like, what does it matter if you're in the right body, when something like this happens? You know what I'm saying? What does it matter? Whether I would have been male, female, or presenting as something in between, when something like that would be going on. I mean, thankfully it wasn't our unit, but you know what I'm saying? Like when you lose everything, it's like, well, would it really matter if you got to live your truth or not? Or, whatever else is going on TV. All these other subjects, it's like they just seem so small and unimportant in comparison to that. And I'm just still afraid of fire.